Okay, so here's the first thing, yeah. So our hand is bad, so we really want to mulligan for the first for those 4 cards I told you about. Okay, and then not the worst case, we found one of the 4 cards. The worst one, but at least we found one. And not really the worst one, but the best is really switcheroo and having handmaiden and stuff. Yeah. So we got thrive, okay, and then we moved on. We top deck switcheroo, very good, made us happy. So 1 mana we had no play here, we just passed. Okay, and then 2 mana we played thrive, okay, because that's the mana we have. And then our options here. Okay, like I said, you can pick gift to help complete your combo, the pyro, cleric, and gift. But in this case, it was still early on, so I chose to pick the amulet instead to have an easier turn. Later, because you only use gift in the combo, and I didn't think that I was going to be comboing anytime soon, so I picked the amulet. Okay, and then turn 3, very simple. We have switcheroo, just play switcheroo here. Okay, so switcheroo here is better because if we just spend the turn trading the 2 amulets, we might have floated 1 mana, and switcheroo is just 3 mana, and it's just the better play. Okay, there could be a different hand where you might ended up playing amulet instead. For example, imagine if it's this hand and these 2 cards here on the left are already minions. Like maybe they were, let's say double cleric here, 2 clerics. Maybe you might want to do the trading instead of playing the switcheroo. But yeah, pretty much that's the only scenario where you wouldn't play switcheroo here. Okay, so we just went for switcheroo. And then we pulled the 2 minions. Very good that we found handmaiden. So handmaiden is the other top card that we want. Okay, and then so meanwhile we're just ignoring him completely, okay? A 2-1 is not a threat at all, so we're just completely ignoring him, just focus on completing our mission. Okay, so here comes to turn 4 here. We don't have any spells to activate handmaiden. The best play is just to trade the amulets, so we traded the 2 amulets. And then now we're at 2 mana. We found a shard there, so we just trade the shard as well, since it's a tradable. So it's just gonna help us cycle our cards. And then we ended up floating 1 mana. Like I said, once again, we don't play the cleric until we want to do the combo. Okay, so just keep a hold on the cleric there. And now turn 5. So this is the first turn where things didn't really go according to plan for us. So the problem here is that we don't have anything nice to play. Okay, we don't really want to play the prayer here because it's a 0 mana. We can play it anytime, and we are not in dire need of healing. We don't want to play Devour here because usually we want to play like a Pyro Devour. So we buff our Pyro and then we do some clearing turn together with the Cleric and Gift. And also Illuminate, you want to play Illuminate as late as possible because you want to try and hit the amulets on Illuminate. Okay, but the alternative to but it was better playing all these 3 cards to activate Handmaiden instead of just passing this turn entirely, because that's just crazy, right? You just floated all that mana and pass. That's just completely bonkers. So I go for Illuminate first, and then look at the options. I see Switcheroo. Once again, it is one of the top cards that we want, so I pick it immediately. And then I play Devour, so I play it on the 3-4, so it kills the 2-1. Okay, so just getting a small value of killing the 2-1. And then I just play my prayer, and then we go into Handmaiden, draw the cards. Okay, and then see that we have 1 mana left. We have the tradable, and then just trade it, and that's the end of the turn. Okay, then coming into turn 6. Alright, turn 6. So you can see right here, we already have, our hand is very full. We have 10 cards. But I've drawn into the gift of the Naru here, so our combo is ready. So once again, think about the play here, okay? So what can we do here? We don't want to play Zarella. This is not the right turn. Um, our Handmaiden is not activated at all. We do have 3 spells, but this is going to be the second Devour, okay? And you don't want to use the second Devour just like that, because Devour is one of the cards you need for the combo at the end. So really, our best play here is the Cleric. So even though we can't draw a lot of cards, just try to draw as many cards as possible. So we know he has 1 minion there, our health is full, so we can draw off, so which is why I made my play here. So you need to think also about the post turn, okay? For example, I can't play double Cleric in this turn because that would be drawing too many cards and then we will overdraw. So the ideal draw that we can have is I play Pyro and then Cleric. So what happens here is that when I play a spell, or everything will get damaged, and then I'm playing Flash Heal on his minion, because this one, whenever a minion is healed, draw a card. It doesn't matter what minion, even the opponent minion works. So we go Flash Heal there, and then we draw 1, and then the Pyro damages all the minions, which is gonna be prepping, which prepares, sets up for my Gift of the Naru draw. So I drew 1 with Flash Heal, and then I'm gonna draw another 3 with Gift of the Naru. Okay, so something you need to be careful of here is the restore 3 health to all characters. If any are still damaged, draw a card. Okay, so sometimes it could apply to, usually the any are still damaged will apply to just the 2 heroes. But sometimes, like in this case, it could actually end up applying to the minion. Okay, in this case, he was only at 2 health, so it was totally fine. But sometimes it could apply to the minion, and then you need to watch out for that so you don't accidentally overdraw. Okay, when you play Boar Priest, the only time you overdraw is when it's really like a super desperate situation. You have no choice but to overdraw. Then you do it. Otherwise, 90% of the time you do not want to overdraw at all, because the moment you lose a Boar or you lose the Amulet, it's just game over. Okay, so here very nicely I did the Flash Shield to draw 1, and then the Gift of the Naru to draw 3. So, yep, this is what we ended with, and then 10 cards perfectly. And just nice, we had the 1 mana for the Boar. Okay, let's say if you didn't get the Boar, I would still have a play. I could still throw Cleric, or I could throw Desperate Heal away. Okay, so don't just think about drawing, think about making sure you don't have like a full hand. So this is another different thing. This is another thing where I say you need to be aware of the different matchups. Let's say you're against a deck like Curse Warlock, right? Curse Warlock, they can put cards into your hand. So you need to take that into account as well and try to avoid having too many cards. So when you have 9 cards, it's easy for them to just put 1 curse in, and then you might end up discarding something. So you need to play around that as well if you're playing against a Curse Warlock. But in this case, you just drew it, and very nicely we drew the Boar here, so we just play the Boar, finish our mana, and then that's it. Once again, we're just not caring about his turns at all, because he's just not doing anything on the board, no threats at all, nothing whatsoever. Okay, then here the next turn, I find my Amulet, so I'm just going to trade the Amulet to start with. Once again, there's not much of a play here, so just trade Amulet. We need 1 more trade anyways, so you need to trade your Amulets a total of 3 times. One of the Amulet needs to be traded once, and the second Amulet needs to be traded twice. So we did traded our Amulets early on over here. So over here, that would be just our final, where was it? Sorry. Yeah, here, so turn 7 here will be our final trade. Okay, and then I traded into Shard of the Naru, right? So at, what is it? Yeah, so at here 6 mana. What other play was I gonna do? I could trade Amulet, but this is unnecessary because this Amulet is already ready. So I just think of activating my Handmaiden. Okay, this Handmaiden is almost ready. We already played the 2 spells here. The 1 Flash Heal. Okay, Flash Heal the first spell, Gift of Naru second spell. So we only needed 1 more spell for Handmaiden. And then, like I said, when I was playing, you don't want to play Devour because this is used for the final combo. I don't want to play Prayer because I'm running out of healing just in case something happens. And this healing is combo with Zarella. So I traded into the Shard of Naru, and we have 2 of these. So it's fine to just toss one out to activate Handmaiden. So I toss one out. And then notice here we still have 9 cards. So if I play Handmaiden, I would overdraw 1. So I just dump the Cleric now. Okay, so remember earlier I said don't play the Cleric until you get the combo. Usually you only get the combo off 1 time. So, and we're already nearing the end of our deck. We don't need this Cleric anymore. This is the most useless card in our hand now. So just toss it out for space so that we can play the Handmaiden. And then we get the draw 3 here. Okay, and very nice, we drew into the Amulet again. And also, once again, with 1 mana left, we drew perfectly into the Boar. So just play the Boar. Okay, then his turn, he tries to go for like some kind of big board, but it's really too late. Like, look at our health, we're just super healthy. We have everything we need, and then it's just gonna be the final turn here. Yeah, so over here, you just need to be like be careful. You just need to be familiar. Like, I guess, like to you, right, looking at this setup, you might not know what is the clearest play. It should be clear to you that we have the combo here, 2-3-3 with our boss. All these are traded enough. Okay, but we have Valish here, so what you should see is that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spells. That means you can do 5 AoE in total. 6 actually, because this Devour counts for 2. And then you have Valish here, which means that you're going to get an extra mana with every spell you cast. So at 8 mana with Pyro, I know that I can cast at least 1 Amulet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, I know I can get 4 mana back. And in fact, it's going to be more than 4 mana because these 2 cost 0. So looking at this hand, I know for sure I have the combo. And looking at his board, it's just 5 health. I know that I'll be able to clear everything as well. So I just go right into it. Okay, you actually drew Flash here as well. So 1 more card. So just go Pyro into Devour. And then basically I'm just playing the spells, just playing all my spells. So Devour, and then I play Flash Heal to heal myself. Okay, and then I play Illuminate just because, just to help clearing. I could not play it as well, it's fine. But basically just play everything. Then here I play the Amulet. Okay, then here I played the Healing. Like his board is already gone, so I'm just finishing up my turn to prepare for the Valish final Amulet. Okay, because at this point when my mana gets low, but Valish is ready, it's gonna recover a lot of mana. Amulet there, and at this point here, I'm very healthy, so just use Hero Power on the minion because the minion will also help you push some damage. Sometimes they do have some kind of 1 mana card they can play. So, and then yeah, just very smoothly, we got the sword out, heal the minion, and then it's just GG here. Okay, so one thing about the late game is that you need to know that technically you have 2 swords. So the first sword you get from the boss, and then this Zyrella is just for the second sword. So in most cases you don't play this until, like for example, he only has 45 health. So this 1 sword is going to be enough. Sometimes you play Zyrella. Zyrella is very situational. Sometimes you play it for the second sword. Sometimes you play it for the hero power. Sometimes you play it to defend yourself just to get the armor and the healing. I wasn't able to demonstrate Zyrella this turn, so in general it's just for the second sword or for some healing. Okay, and then what about the third sword, right? I mentioned the third sword. So you can actually get a third sword out. That one is more of a difficult thing to do, to get the third sword. But what you need to do is you need to trade one of the amulets an extra time. So one of it is Resurrect 2, and the other one is Resurrect 4. So you resurrect a total of 4, but you only kill 3 and you leave 1 of them alive. And that is your third sword, that fourth ball there. But that is like super, super, super rare game. Less than 1% chance of occurring. Usually just 2 swords and game is over. Okay, and like I said during the game, usually you tend to get your swords out on average by turn 8. If it's a smooth game, you should get your sword out by turn 8. If you're lucky and you land your Illuminate on one of the amulets, you can actually get the sword out on turn 7 quite easily when it's a smooth game like this. Okay, if the game is tougher, like if you actually under some threat, then your sword could be delayed, maybe turn 9, maybe turn 10. Like an example would be, let's say this turn, right? Let's say we didn't have Valish. Let's say Valish was in the deck. Okay, in that case, you need to measure. So what would you have to measure? First, you have to see, you know you can get a sword out for sure, and you know that you can get some clear off. So let's say I get the sword out. No Valish, huh? Let's say I get the sword out. So I will do 2 AoE, and then all the Hydralodon will survive, and I will actually die, even if I swing sword to face. So this is not the play. Okay, sometimes you can get away with it, sometimes you don't have enough, and then like you only need 2 swings, right? In most cases. Most cases you need 2 swings, cost 30 health. So sometimes you can actually just do it anyways, and then you swing them the first time, and then you have enough health to survive their board, then you just don't care about it, because you win in 2 turns, and they can't do anything with 1 mana, and their board is not enough to kill you, so sometimes you just go for that. Okay, but like in the other scenario, let's assume it was this board and we don't have Valish. Okay, if this board and we don't have Valish, the play that we will make, we would have to trade Amulet, and then try to land Illuminate on the Amulet, so it becomes a 0 next turn, which is going to help our next turn. But this turn is just going to be Desperate Prayer, Healing Phase, Zyrella, just to clear this board. And then our sword will be delayed 1 turn, and then we'll just go for the sword next turn and see what happens there. Okay, just so happens we had Valish. Like I said, Valish, you need to make sure that you really get the mana cheat worth. Like, make sure you're doing some good tempo play, like you're getting a lot of value out of the mana. Like in this case, yeah, so the mana helped us clear the board and do the combo all in 1 turn. And yeah, I guess pretty much that's it.